Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening. Introducing from Damansara Uptown, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, weighing in at not quite a hiatus, but it is sort of a hiatus, but it's not really. I'll explain it soon. Here's your fellow Uptown Low Life, Cornelius. Okay, I deserve it this time. I get it. All I can do is laugh at just how inconsistent I've been streaming for the past. Please tell me it was just 3 weeks as opposed to 4 weeks. You forgot your weight? I never announce my proper weight when I open my streams, do I? I never say my actual weight. I always say something ridiculous like, 5 cats, 20 mugs of coffee, 8 back suplexes. I'm kind of shocked I've not ever done wrestling moves before. I should do something like 500 DDTs or something like that. That'd be fun. Anyways, folks, my name is Cornelius, professional wrestler turned Butler, VTuber at your service. Yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry, folks. I do apologize. I know there's a lot of you guys out there that actually do enjoy my streams. That actually wait patiently for when I post anything, funny video, something about a vlog, my streams, whatever. I just haven't been. And I can't get into the details of it. Other than that, it's just one of those days where, well, it's not one of those days. It's just one of those. There's just been some stuff that's been challenging me as of late, and it's been a little bit hard to sort of get out of my own prison that is my mind sometimes. Turns out pro wrestlers can have mental setbacks as well. With a thunk it. In any case, folks, I'm here. I'm glad to be back. I am hoping to be more consistent with my streaming now. Likely, it'll still be at max 3 streams per week. I will try to keep it at a minimum of 2, for the simple reason that I do want to also post a lot of short form content as well. I like to make me some fun shorts for you guys, because I think I have got the brains for it. I've got the skills to make it myself. I should get to it. And yeah, unfortunately, my whole mental setback has set me back even doing videos too, unfortunately. That's all good. Nurture your mental health back to top state. Thank you so much for understanding, Nomu. But as you can see, there's a certain thing here that's blocking the way. So actually, let me get to this before I proceed to any other stuff. So, before we get into the real Wrestling Rapport, where we talk about all things pro wrestling, let me announce something very, very specific, which is my own pro wrestling event that I am a part of. And that is MyPW, Malaysia Pro Wrestling New Breed 3. Thank you for the applause. Thank you for the applause. Much appreciated. How's the volume, by the way, folks? How's the volume, by the way? Okay, nothing. Well, is it too loud? For some reason, things sound really loud in my ears. Oh, wow, what a nice event. I hope I can go watch it. Yeah, no way I'll make it. Who knows? I think it's okay. That's good to know. So basically, this is MyPW New Breed 3. This is sort of our WrestleMania for Malaysia Pro Wrestling. It'll be held 10th of May on a Saturday. I believe the show starts at 6 o'clock. Doors open at 5 p.m. So, and just a hint for you folks. Doors open at 5. The official show starts at 6. But there could be things happening in between. Just gonna let you know that right now. There could be things happening in between. Yeah? And this is, and of course, it is held in sort of our home base, Kuwash Theatre in TTDI, which is in KL, essentially. Kuwash Theatre is in a lovely children's cultural center. It's a very nice spot. Parking is I believe is free there, and it is also very accessible via MRT as well. So if you get off at the TTDI MRT, I believe the walk there is about 10 to 15 minutes actually. So it's very easy, very walkable to get there from the MRT actually. And if you want to get tickets, I have pinned the message. I have pinned the ticketing website. I've pinned it in the chat, so you may check it out there, folks. You may check it out there. So I'll pop the image again from time to time. I'll pop the image up from time to time. We've actually announced a few events, a few matches already. One of which sort of involves me actually, because one of which, so I'm not wrestling in that, but my talent is. It is the first match that was announced is Blazing Raj versus Kaizul actually. So this match is actually something really interesting. I kind of wish, you know what, just because it is my talent after all, I should actually make an effort to show the match card. So let me just download this image here. I'll just get this done. I can do this real quick. Let's see now. Let me do this real quick. Definitely can't go about Joy more. I'll enjoy Joy more, mate Cornelius. Why? Why do you want to draw me in a maid outfit? What is this obsession with me in a maid outfit? I'm a butler. I'm a butler VTuber. Hello. Vest, tie, booty shorts. You know. What? Like this is obviously like this is a sign of a confident and virile butler. Yeah. So, anyways, okay, here it is. Oh, that's so big. There we go. So, this is the first match that was announced. Kaizo versus Raj. This is for the semifinals in the Journey to Gold tournament, where the winner of said tournament will get a number 1 contendership to the MIPW Commonwealth Championship. Cordelia exists for a reason. Yes, but that's Cordelia. I'm not Cordelia. I'm Cornelius. Yeah. Cordelia will enjoy being in a maid outfit, but Cornelius wouldn't, so mate Cornelius it is. What logic is that? God, you guys are so annoying sometimes. So annoying. Anyways, so you guys are like distracting me. So I actually am sort of more than well acquainted with both of these gents, actually. Like Raj, obviously being my talent that I've been nurturing as of late. Trying to get him up into tip-top fighting shape, get him to win the number 1 contendership for the MIPW Commonwealth Championship. And then there is Kaizul. Kaizul, the international hitman, someone that has been actually making some great strides, actually. He last defeated Matty Romano in the previous MIPW event, and that was a really bang of a match. And actually someone that I've tagged with before in Thailand, actually. It was in fact my idea to actually have him as my tag partner for a match in Setup Bangkok, actually. Oh man, that was a little while ago, in fact. That was a little while ago. So he's someone that I respect a lot. In fact, I actually sort of what's the word? I'm very well aware that he's a chip off the old block, so to speak. He sort of wrestles like me. Very technical, very sure-footed with his strikes. knows how to bend the rules a little bit when necessary. You know, we are players of the game. Indeed. He loves to kick. I love to kick. He loves him a good submission. I really love submissions. We're both mean. We're both very, very mean. He's mean. I mean. We're both. I'd say I'm a little meaner than him. I'm a little with him. But Kaizel, he can scrap. That's for sure. Enjoy joining Cornelius in a bunch of embarrassing outfits at every convenient turn or on April Fool's. April Fool's is 2 days ago. It's 2 days ago. Why? It's 2 days ago. It's 2 days ago. So yes, I'll be there. At ringside, keeping an eye on my talent. He will win the Journey to Gold tournament. Yeah, I drew you in a main outfit too. I saw. Jeez. Or 3. This is getting concerning. Anyways, so that's my BW new 3. And now, let's talk a little bit about wrestling, shall we? Welcome, everyone. Welcome, every low, to the Real Wrestler Rapport. I think that's the name I want. It's basically just an opportunity for me to just chit-chat about all things wrestling. This is, in fact, the space where you guys can ask about anything to do with wrestling. If you want me to ask any questions, if you want to ask my opinions on certain things. Although, keep in mind, folks, one thing that sets me apart from, let's say, wrestling content creators such as Maven Huffman or the Post Wrestling Podcast, is that I am an active wrestler. I am part of the industry. I'm considered one of the talents, so to speak. So there are things that I will deliberately refrain from speaking about. There are things that I might not even want to address at all. I might not be the right person to ask it because I'm not in the right position to be talking about it. Whether it's something that is out of my league or whether it's something that I just outright don't want to talk about. That sort of thing. I'll be very upfront about that. Other than that, everything else is pretty fair game, and I will shepherd us in a way that is interactive, that is thrilling, and hopefully doesn't get me cancelled. Because that's the thing these days. So how's your Raya? Okay, let's not talk about wrestling then. Let's talk about Raya. How's everyone's Raya, folks? How's everyone's Raya? Mine was pretty quiet. Mine was pretty quiet. There is something that made it not too quiet. This was at the tail end of the Puasa period, I suppose. It was something. I guess I could talk about a little bit about it now that it's been sort of revealed. Actually, let me get to it. Let me actually read out what was posted online. I'm actually a little bit surprised that my PW, or rather my PWDC, announced it. So, to those who aren't aware, my PW technically has 2 Instagram accounts. One is my PW itself, which is Malaysia Pro Wrestling. The other is my PWDC, short for my PW Developmental Center. That's our academy, so to speak. And one of the things that was okay, so this. Let me just read this out. Yeah. So this was posted just 3 hours ago. And with that, we say goodbye to Kampung Baru. Want to know where the MyPW Developmental Center has moved to? Stay tuned. Isn't that interesting? So actually, I'll link this to you. I don't mind. And yes, I'm in this photo as well, as always. Yeah. The legacy of this cutout. The legacy of this cutout. So, to those who aren't aware, we were in Kampung Baru for about 2 years or so, more than 2 years. And this is where MyPW was at for a good long while, both in its very early years and both for the past 2 years. It was held essentially in an indoor football stadium. That's where we were. And this Kampung Baru space I consider a very pivotal place. It is a place where new MyPW was created. You know, when MyPW had to start over, when it was just myself, Miles Carew, and the Wonder Boy. We started off a little bit in a previous location, and then we had to move back to Kampung Baru. And this was where the new generation of MyPW wrestlers were developed, where they honed their craft, where I assisted in coaching. I never coached, but I assisted in coaching, you know. I like to think that I helped a good bit. You know, even though I had some limitations with me, I like to think that I had a good ear, I had good eyes, and you know, yes, like I said, there are some limitations to me, but you know, I could tell when there's a move isn't done right. I could tell when, oh, you can tweak this in this section of the match, or when this certain thing of the storytelling could be improved, that sort of a thing, you know. So this was where I also developed myself, actually, you know, in terms of improving as a wrestler as well. So you're a part-time instructor? No, I did not say that. I did not say that. I assisted with the coaching. Okay? So I'm like a coach's assistant. Very unofficially. Very unofficially. But I can at least say that management is very aware and appreciative of what I do. There's a term that's being thrown around with me that I don't want to say what it is exactly just yet. But let me put it this way. A lot of the dirty work in MyPW, things like throwing out the trash, opening up the gate, opening up the doors, cleaning up the place. Yours slowly, right here. Yours slowly, right here. Because I understand the bigger picture of things. Someone has to do those things, okay? And even when the trainees throw wet, nasty stuff into the trash can, even though I tell them so many times to throw the wet stuff away in the designated spots, do I complain about it? Nope. I just pick it up and get rid of it. You know? So I was that guy for MyPW for a good long while, and still am in a way. Still am in a way. And yes, I do know where it has moved to, and no, I won't say where just yet, but just know that it's exciting. It's definitely exciting. But why did we move? So I know why, but I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say. Let's just say that it was time. It was time to move on. Lo, the guy kissing the Cornelius cut out. Yeah. By the way, that's Eman, by the way. That is Eman Azman. Our COO, our Chief Operations Officer, one of the head coaches of Malaysia Pro Wrestling. I want to emphasize this very, very much. He doesn't look it, but he is one of Southeast Asia's best wrestlers. At a certain point, he was considered one of Australia's best wrestlers as well. He's shorter than me. Does he move faster than me? Yes. Is he so unbelievably sharp with his fundamentals? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. He is a Malaysian wrestler that when he moved and studied in Melbourne about 6 years ago, he's won championships there. I cannot emphasize to you enough how freaking difficult and how prestigious it is for someone, a non-Australian, to win Australian champions. And mind you, these are in promotions that are considered like practically world-class. Renegades of Wrestling, Melbourne City Wrestling especially. That's the big one. Like if you have won a championship in MCW before, that is huge. I cannot emphasize enough that actually puts you on like the global wrestling map. You are like, if you can work in MCW, you can work like almost anywhere in the world. He's had matches with Robbie Eagles. He defeated Caveman Ugg. If you know Caveman Ugg, oh my god. He's had a match with El Hijo del Vikingo before. Vikingo. If you know that name, you know that is huge. He has been with some oh my god, his resume is like unbelievable. Unbelievable. He's made the most of his time there in Melbourne. And also this is all of like old-ish news already, but yes, Eman has to come back to KL from Melbourne because of visa, essentially. Visa, yeah. Unfortunately. Let's just say he really established himself in Melbourne and would have loved to continue on, but alas. But he is here now with us, and I really do appreciate him being here because well, look, Miles and Wonderboy, they're great coaches. They really have stepped up and really have blossomed to be great coaches, especially Miles Carew. I will give them the flowers in that sense. They can spot great details. They are very nurturing. They have this. They know how to get into the coach mindset, But to have someone like Eman Osman, who has been in the very, very active Melbourne wrestling scene, arguably one of the most competitive Australian wrestling scenes that there is. Like, put it this way, in Melbourne alone, there's like 8 separate promotions. Some obviously bigger than others, but that just means that things are freaking cutthroat, man. Cutthroat. And therefore, he's got a lot of experience, and so he brought that with him, and so he's been able to help elevate all of us here, actually, and that's been great. Like, he's been able to spot some stuff with my game as well, which I appreciate. Like, there's some stuff that's like, really? I gotta move this thing to the later stage in a match? Like, even though I was doing this thing, this particular move, I won't say what it is. I've been doing it for in the early stages of the match, like for years, literal years. And only just only a week ago that he said no, you do this move really well, really viciously. You should move it into the later stage of the match as for more dramatic effect. I'm like, really? I've been doing this move for years now. Now you tell me? It's practically 5 years too late now at this rate. But yeah, another move to the later stages of the match. I guess that just goes to show, I guess, that I've been doing some stuff right. So yeah, we have to say goodbye to Kampung Baru. There's been stuff that's not been perfect about the place, that's for sure. I guess now that we've actually left it, I guess I can say a little about the place. If you've ever been there before, well, firstly, it's in Kampung Baru, Kuala Lumpur itself. It's a very unique place in Kuala Lumpur. When you think Kuala Lumpur, you think tall buildings, metropolitan, the big city. Kampung Baru, which means new village in Malay, is literally that. It's a village. It's actually a village. You will see village houses there. It's crazy. And it's very unique. It's a very unique place to be at in KL, and I'm very fortunate I got exposed to that side of KL. So it was really, really interesting to be there. And okay, yeah. The whole area itself, like I said, it's an indoor football stadium. It's a sports center, so So I think it's okay for me to say this. Where we were, if you look at the photo of where we were, this place is actually technically a storage center, a storage space. It's I've never realized this until we removed the signs and all that. It says that storage space, essentially. That's hilarious. But it was kind of a great spot, actually, because if you saw in the photos, the ceiling, that ceiling is incredibly high, which is perfect, That means if we do as much top rope stuff as we want, in a sense, you're sharing space. We rented a space there. we rented a space there. You know, just like any other sport that wants to rent a part of a sports center, essentially. It's just that we were part of a space that wasn't for its original use, hilariously enough. And yeah. So the ceiling was super high, and that means that, you know, we could do all sorts of things. Like we could practice like top rope moonsaults, springboard clotheslines, all that jazz with no worries. Because yes, I have been in some training spaces where, oh, if you're not careful, your head could hit the ceiling. Your head could hit the ceiling for sure. And obviously, it's in KL itself. So the location, central, you know. It was in, like I said, it was in Kampung Baru, and not in the touristy part of Kampung Baru itself, actually. So that meant that, parking, surprisingly, not as big of an issue as I thought, actually. Because in some places, you know, to those that regularly work in KL, I weep for you guys. Like, is it actually 10 ringgit parking per day on a daily basis? Yikes. You know? Yeah, to those who aren't aware, to those who've ever been to like those open parking spaces in KL, you know, 10 ringgit, 5 ringgit if you're lucky. Not cheap. And to those who park in KLCC, oh man, that's a horror story right there. Like, did you know? Don't know if you're all aware of this. In KLCC, there is no price ceiling. Like in most like shopping centers, right? You know, once it hits a certain price point, it stops there. Like if it hits like 10 ringgit, it doesn't go above 10 ringgit. If it's 20 ringgit, it doesn't go above 20 ringgit. Stuff like that. Almost every shopping center is the case. Is the case. Even in KL. Except KLCC. And yes, I've experienced this before. And yes, it has gone above triple digits before. It has. So if you're going to KLCC, and if you're going to spend a long time there, either you spend your time wisely, or you park somewhere else. I personally recommend a place like was it called Avenue K? I think it's called Avenue K, which is a shopping mall next to KLCC. Or heck, just take the public transport. Take public transport. It's actually really good now. Yeah. That was like I said. So even for us, for a lot of us, we take public transport to go to our training center. And man, it's a breeze. It's a breeze when you're in somewhere like Kampung Baru. Sorry. I brewed some coffee that has some old beans. I really gotta move on from that kind of coffee grounds. It's all it's so stale. I can taste the staleness. I can taste the decrepitness of it all. Now what the cons? Oh yes. Number one, first and foremost. What is with the plumbing issues there, man? What is with the plumbing issues? God, the plumbing issues was horrid. Like, it got to the point where like several toilets were down. The toilet issue there has just been ongoing. Like literally, when we moved there to when we moved out, there has always been some form of toilet issues. Always. It could range from like minor ones, like not every cubicle working, to like the entire toilet shut down. The entire toilet. It was ridiculous. It was absurd, you know? Just ridiculous. Did not appreciate that at all. Is there any other cons? There is sort of one. I've never sort of mentioned this before. That sounds like school level plumbing. Ha! Ha! School level plumbing. School level plumbing is like comparing. No, it's like it is literally like comparing like a gold a royal toilet to an outhouse. A school level, the plumbing in a typical Malaysian school is literally like Montenegro toilet compared to a literal outhouse. That's what we were dealing with. It's worse. Oh yes, it was worse. Oh yes. Why? Don't know. We're not the landlords, you know. Yeah. It's not like we didn't complain, you know. We had every right to complain after all. Let's just say we don't have to deal with that anymore. So that's nice. That is pretty nice. The other thing is that oh man, like I said, we were attached. The main sort of venue in the whole space was an indoor futsal stadium there, right? I can assume they didn't contract any good plumber. I don't know the problem. The other issue was that, you know, like I said, it was an indoor futsal stadium, right? So we were literally right next to it. And it's a very large space too. So we wanted to try to do events there. However, you know, as big as it was, as spacious as it was, unfortunately, we tried, but there's just been some, like, essentially there was no air conditioning. It's unfortunate. That's a problem for the building owner. Exactly. Yeah, because there was no air conditioning, so whenever we try to hold like smaller, what we call house shows there, it gets a little hot. Mind you, we will even rent mobile aircon units too, and that's still it helps a little, but not too much. You'll still sweat a good bit there as well. So that makes things not so comfortable, which is kind of why one of the reasons why we are now doing shows out of a Quash theater, while we're very steadfast with Quash theater essentially. Typing with a tablet is hard. Much appreciated, it's you. Much appreciated that you're trying. So yeah. That was so in spite of all the challenges with the place, you know, from the unreasonable toilets, to, you know, the place is also kind of old in general, and how isolated the place is sometimes. I have fond memories there. I have very fond memories there. That was the venue where I learned how to do a proper top rope rumble style exit. That was the place where I I got to do some amazing seminars with amazing talent. That's where I, in some ways, left a little bit of a legacy there, you know, where I helped a new generation of Malaysian wrestlers, you know, find their way in this very complex and chaotic wrestling world. Where I'm glad to say that I was part of steering them to the right path, you know, not just in getting in being better wrestling trainees, but in being better people. Where I helped bring out the confidence of people, where they might not have it initially, you know. I know what it was like to be one of those trainees that people had no confidence in, where they think that they're not up to much. Part of what we do in MyPW is, even though you might struggle a little bit, even though it might not seem like you are so quote unquote cut out for it, we will still train you regardless. We will still see the potential in you, and we will try our best to blossom you into the flower that wears wrestling trunks, into the best, biggest, girthiest flower that wears wrestling trunks that you can be. What is it with me and weird analogies today. You know, like there are some folks, even the photo that you see from the MyPWDC post, there's been some folks that I'm very proud to say I've helped them elevate them. You know, most of all, Blazing Raj. It was under me that he actually like gained a lot of confidence. Where I pushed him. I said to him, "Oh no! You jump over the top rope. You jump over the top rope. You are. Don't you dare be chicken about this. Everyone has to do it. You do it." You know, it takes a village. It takes a village. Okay, so let's actually get into like some juicy meat and potato stuff, shall we? As some of you might know, what do you think is like considered like the biggest wrestling news of the past few weeks? Does anyone know? I do, and it's something that has sort of transcended wrestling itself, actually, in a good way, in a big way. It went beyond just the wrestling niche. The John Cena one. See? Exactly. John Cena becoming a baddie. So, let me just set the stage here. Let me set, so those who aren't aware. The Rock basically gave Cody Rhodes an interesting position. Gave him an interesting proposition. He said, "Hey, I can make your dreams come true if you sell your soul to me." Because The Rock, to those who aren't aware, is basically a WWE boss now. He is one of the owners now of WWE. This dude went from a new wrestler all those years ago in the early 90s, becoming a big movie star, to now owning a big part of WWE. Insane. I want to ask about that. Do they plan stories and laws? Of course. Shouldn't that be obvious with the way I talk about wrestling? Oh no, it's fake. Just like your favorite movies. Dun dun dun. Why, yes. Just like your favorite movies. Just like your favorite TV shows. Just like your favorite soap operas. Wrestling is called soap operas for guys for a long, long time now. All right, the entertainment industry. Obviously. And so that's what The Rock did. He gave him this proposition. Cody Rhodes took a little time, gave his answer to The Rock. Mind you, Cody Rhodes is the champion, the WWE champion. Does Rock own part of WWE in IRL or in story too? Both. And essentially, Cody Rhodes gave The Rock a verbal middle finger. No, doesn't want to be a part of his shenanigans. Doesn't want to sell a soul. And then Cena was in the same ring with him too for that. And Cena went ha to him to The Rock. Cody, no, it was John Cena that gave Cody Rhodes a hug. And then, if you saw my thumbnail, John Cena frowned. And then John Cena gave Cody Rhodes a low blow. Kicked him right where the macaronis are. Right where the macadamias are. Did I say macaroni? Why did I say macaronis? No, right where the macadamias are. Macadamias. I haven't had macadamia nuts in a while. I need to minimize my nut consumption. Don't want to go crazy. And then proceeded to bloody up Cody Rhodes. Macaroni. Ignore my weird metaphors. You can tune those out. And and left the world in utter shock. John Cena, Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, Respect, Mr. Make-A-Wish Charity Foundation for decades at this rate, low-blowed the WWE champion and shook The Rock's hand. No one saw it coming. It was probably the biggest plot twist of all time in wrestling history. I don't think I'm even exaggerating. There's been some shocking moments in wrestling history, even on the grandest stage of them all. This is insane. This is someone that there were some points in John Cena's career where he could have actually become a bad guy, become the one that everyone boos. He's going to the dark side. He's already in the dark side. He's already there. There were moments where he could have, there were moments, and mind you, mind you, I do not mean when the crowd sort of rejected him, so to speak, because there was a period of time where the crowd was just booing him no matter what he did, John Cena could have been doing the most chivalrous thing possible, saving the day. People still booed him because he was overexposed, because it was just John Cena, week in, week out, day after day. It was just him at the top of the pyramid, and he basically was just overexposed at a certain point. But he was always positioned as the good guy, the Superman, Super Cena, so to speak. You can see me too. You can see me in the dark. Ha. Actually, I'll get to that actually. So essentially, so I believe it was just a week ago. I could be wrong in this. John Cena explains actions. And essentially, he went rogue on everyone, on the fans, because they treated him as a joke. No matter how many championships he won, no matter how many kids he met for Make-A-Wish Foundation, people treat him as a joke. They kept doing the hand-waving thing. They kept saying, "You can't see me." They turned him into meme after meme after meme. And he said he is tired of being the butt of the joke, and he is taking what is his. He announced that this is his retirement tour. This year is his final year of wrestling. And he is gonna go out to become WWE champion and retire with the belt. And the crowd booed him. Something a lot of people have truly wondered whether that can actually be done. Sincerely booed him. And they did it. It is one of the most interesting storylines that has been created in a long time. And in some ways, as opposed to treating Cena as a token legacy act, as opposed to, he's in his farewell tour. Okay, he's gonna go out as the icon. We treat him with respect now. We're giving him his flowers. Oh no, he is throwing those flowers back in our faces and going after the champion with The Rock, rubbing his shoulders, smiling all the way to the bank. He's gonna do it with an evil twister, essentially. And then this week, on SmackDown, John Cena opened SmackDown, and out came Cody Rhodes, and they had essentially a promo battle that was 20 minutes long. Hold on, The Rock's still active? In terms of wrestling, no. In terms of being part of the wrestling business, oh yes, he is one of the bosses of WWE now. He is one of the guys running the show. I believe it is still Triple H that is the head of creative, but in terms of being one of the bosses in WWE? Yes, The Rock is one of them. Like, it was a big deal too, actually. Like, he was part of the New York, like, he was there in the New York Stock Exchange ceremony. It was a big hoo-ha thing. In WrestleMania 40, they even play into that, as with The Rock calling himself the final boss, you know, all that. So yeah, definitely one of the bosses of WWE. It's crazy. The last time I followed WWE was Kane's face reveal. That was so long ago this year. That was so long ago. The wrestling scene has changed so much since then, man. It's changed so much since then. And so now, and so this 20-minute match, mind you, this was legit 20 minutes long. They went after each other's throats. I'm not gonna get into all the stuff essentially, but they went at each other's history essentially. You know, John Cena berating Cody that he's still very much just the chauffeur boy, not on Cena's level. Cody Rhodes deriding Cena for turning his back on the fans after all these years, and it finally ended with essentially Rhodes saying, "Hey, at least I never had got the chant of you can't wrestle." That's true. He's gotten a lot of those chants actually over the years. John Cena was about to leave the ring, leave it as it is. Went back and tried to attack Rhodes. Rhodes hit him with a crossroads. So they went at each other indeed. Like, Rhodes basically mentioned that also mentioned something like and you know, he didn't sell it to The Rock. I know, I followed because of my late dad. Oh, your dad was a big wrestling fan? Who's his favorite wrestler? Sorry to hear that your dad passed on. But it's pretty cool that your dad was watch wrestling, and hey, now you follow wrestling in a way yourself, this you. Still, respect for Cena for him pulling the stunt. At least that's one unforgettable over time, buddy. It is definitely one of the most intriguing things that they've ever done. It could have been something that was honestly like I said, very run of the mill retirement tour where you're just sort of going out in a bang, but being respectful and not so much rocking the boat. This is rocking the boat big time because, like, Cena is challenging the top guy. He is going after Cody Rhodes. He is going after, in some ways, the modern day John Cena. I cannot emphasize enough that in some ways it is John Cena versus John Cena. It is Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, Respect versus the American Nightmare. American Nightmare. Oh, I'm gonna try to hold my peace on that. Like, Cody Rhodes is in some ways the new John Cena. You know, squeaky clean, very America coded. You know, very much representing. He calls himself the American Nightmare, but he's very much, his whole gimmick is that he's trying to trying to uphold the legacy of his father, the American Dream, who is like such an American wrestling icon, you know. Stone Cold Steve Austin, he is a Stone Cold dude. That was so influential with his passion for WWE that I remember the Stone Cold Steve Austin era. I even remember Rikishi and Rey Mysterio. Wow, your dad's a Stone Cold dude, and you remember Rikishi and Rey Mysterio, dude. It's crazy that, like, Rikishi has retired, but his two sons, Jimmy and Jey Uso, they are actively wrestling right now, man. Like, Jimmy and Jey Uso, the Uso twins. Oh my god, they have like won the tag team championships. Like, I've lost count. Like, it's like the number of times they've won it is insane. Rey Mysterio is still wrestling. How old is Rey Mysterio? Let me check. Like, he's still wrestling to this day. He's still able to wrestle at a really, really high level. Wait, those are Rikishi sons? Yes! They're Samoan. Hello? Oh yes, Rikishi Samoan. And obviously not built at all like Rikishi. Let's see, he's Rey Mysterio is 50 years old this year. And he can still pull off moonsaults. What the hell's wrong with him? God, Mysterio's an icon. Like, he's I've said this before, I'm more of a Tajiri guy, but man, you gotta give it up to Mysterio for being able to wrestle at such a high standards. And yes, Rey's still young. What do you mean he's still young? He's 50 years old. Like, can you still call someone who's 50 years old 50 years young? Can you? Can you? Can you? I don't know. I like how John Cena feels like he is fighting the entire fan base in his final tour. I think that's the point. I think that's literally the point. That's the point. That's what this is all about. Cena, for all of the accolades that he's gotten, for how he is one of the world's most well-known wrestlers, you can't go anywhere without hearing his stupid theme. There's a lot of, like, he gets mixed reactions sometimes, you know. In the later stages of Cena's career, he definitely has got his flowers, you know, before he sort of left a good bit for Hollywood. You know, he got the respect that he earned. He earned it. But there was a time where he was sort of positioned in a damn if you do, damn if you don't way. And so he sort of so this whole storyline of him being this way is him reacting to that. Like, to the point where he actually did something really interesting. You're doing something very interesting here. It's still, like, usually when people become a bad guy, there's a little bit of a reinvention usually, where maybe they get a new theme song, a new look. It's still the same theme song. He has sort of, in the last episode that he appeared, I think he wore like darker clothing. One of the episodes he definitely wore darker clothing, but it was still the same logo. It's still the same look, same branding out thing. So not too much has changed in that sense. He's just reacting very negatively to basically his entire legacy, in a way, you know. So he literally calls out too: no new music, no new outfit, because this is his time, not the fans. He wants what's his. So that's super, super interesting. My mom is also, don't call out your mom like that. Come on. Ayoyo. So that's been super, super interesting. I am not a John Cena guy. Is that obvious? Is it obvious that I'm not a John Cena guy? Please tell me it is. Please tell me it is. I am not a John Cena guy. I never was. I liked him. I preferred him when he was in his Thugonomics days. He was doing this white rapper guy that I actually appreciated, because he went full ham with it. Like, he was actually rapping, you know. He was going full force with it. Even if it looked hokey at first, he went full 100% dedicated to it, and he made it work when it could have fallen flat on his face. But he actually legit made it work, and I respect him for that. And then when he sort of switched into, so he had this sort of like military marine thingish thing at first, and then he sort of like essentially became, he fruity pebbled himself and started to wear super bright colors, and he did this whole hustle, loyalty, respect, super baby face a thing that went on and on forever and forever. And from there on, I was like, yeah, it got boring. It got boring. The military salute, yes. So, and after that, he just became. He literally like became, like what, like the sort of kids cartoon that kids rather not talk about, with their friends. You know, it became a little embarrassing, a little cringy, because God, it really got that bad. He really was overexposed. You know. In a certain point, he became a one-man show for like years and years. No, man, what did you post in Discord? So anyways, what do you think Cena will do? Bulldoze other champions? Now, he'll be focused. He'll be setting his sights on Cody Rhodes. He'll be setting his sights on Cody Rhodes, and I think we'll find out soon. I believe it's already official. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for WrestleMania. So that will be super, super intriguing. So we won't have to wait long either. When is WrestleMania 41 actually? Oh man, WrestleMania 41. I've mentioned this time and time again. WrestleMania 40 is my favorite WrestleMania ever. It's gonna be so hard to top WrestleMania 40. Because WrestleMania 40 is a watershed moment. It is the game changer WrestleMania. It is just incredible. It is just like WrestleMania 40 was well and truly spectacular. It is one of the most important WrestleManias ever. How in the world can WrestleMania 41 match up? How? Just how, you know? Just how? Okay, let's see. When is WrestleMania 41? WrestleMania 41 is April 19th and 20th in Nevada, Las Vegas. So that's not long at all. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, ladies and gentlemen. And if you have a Netflix account, I believe you can watch it. If you have Netflix, I believe you can watch it. I'm not sure if you can watch it live, but it'll be there. Like, if I'm not wrong, if I go, let's see, if I were to go to Netflix right now. Oh, I need to be careful that I don't get myself copyrighted here. I were to go to Netflix right now, I believe I can literally go check out WrestleMania right now. Yeah, yeah. WrestleMania 40 is available on Netflix, just like that. That is insane. That is insane that you can watch WrestleMania 40. Mind you, I'm not paying anything extra either. I think. It's just there on your Netflix. I gotta say, like, man, Netflix has made it more accessible than ever to watch wrestling. Like, with one account that is not too expensive, I can watch WWE Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-view, the PLE, pay-per-views or PLEs, all of them, Elimination Chamber, TLC, various documentaries, I believe, even some NXT shows as well. Actually, is NXT available on is NXT available? It is available. I did not realize that NXT is also available on Netflix. Holy cow. Heck, even the Royal Rumble. This is wild. It's so accessible. Do you guys have Netflix? Because like this is like one of the most accessible ways to watch wrestling ever if you're ever curious, you know? Insane. Insane. I'm taking bets whether Cena retires as a heel or has a last-minute redemption. Don't know. That could be up in the cards for him to have a redemption thing. Maybe. What is definitely interesting is how what is definitely really important now is to see how it all plays out now. It's definitely going to be super interesting to see how they play it out. That is for certain. So, yeah. I think I'm a Cena guy now, guys. I think I like John Cena now. I like that he's giving the proverbial middle finger to his fans. I like this new streak by him. I need to remind myself that this is still a soap opera. It's you. There's been literal riots. Like just a couple of weeks ago, there was a man that took a spiked bat, smashed it into someone's gut, laid that spiked bat down, and then this other person suplexed said person on the spiked bat. And no one got arrested. There have been people set on fire. There have been people who've done so much worse. And yet, I mean, to some extent, there's been no one arrested. Because this is indeed a soap opera. Just a very, very dangerous one where the danger is very, very real. They have all sorts of tricks up their sleeves to cause blood in a actual, soap opera, telenovela, cinetron. More often than not, the blood is real in a wrestling show. More often than not. Soap opera with extra steps. That's not a bad way to put it. That's not a bad way to put it, actually. It's soap opera with real steps. We take the easy way out. Why make fake blood when you can just use your own blood, you know? I like this Hugh Cena much more than Marine Goody Cena. Basically, this is I'm not to say it's a reinvention, but this is a new side of John Cena that we've never seen before. This is like literally the best and right time for him to go to become a bad guy. Oh, by the way, I know some of you guys like to use insider terms. I don't mind if you guys use that. And depending on what it is, I won't say it. I will say things like bad guy, plot twist. Blood. Because I have respect for this business. If I see anything that is outright exposing the business, and mind you, the business is already exposed in all sorts of ways. But if I see something that's really, really behind the scenesy, I'm a bit old school in that sense. So I will delete those messages. I'll actively do so because I'm a bit old school and I will protect this business. Even though there's not much to protect. I'll still do it anyways. Because I'm a pro wrestler. YouTube algorithm recommended death matches and I can't bear warring at level of goal. Small heart. That's perfectly fine. Not everyone's going to like every sort of wrestling. Like, I love comedy wrestling. I adore comedy wrestling. It's got a great part it's got a great part of pro wrestling. And I know for a fact that not everyone's into that. I know for a fact that people like things a lot grittier. Something that a lot of people might not realize that I actually really enjoy like so-called flippy wrestling. I like watching like guys going flippity doopity, going up in the air, doing crazy ranas, crazy top rope arm drags, all that. I enjoy all that because that's a spectacle. Flippy, yeah, it means where it becomes almost more acrobatic show than a wrestling match. I actually really enjoy that. I enjoy it even more if they can combine it with storytelling and the dramatics and all that jazz. Because then you're creating something truly, truly spectacular. Like watching a circus? No offense. Yes, like watching a circus. Heck, I sort of do it myself in a way. You know, like you guys have seen me do. I'll show you. Oh, 1 second. Why is this behind me? Oh. Like this. No, not this kick. This kick's just me being nasty. Like this. Like that's some circus shit right there. That is some circus shit right there. So fantasy fighting absolutely has a place in professional wrestling. Because it's enjoyable to watch. I wish I can watch live though. Well, that's the thing. Our shows, we usually announce it like a month and a half in advance, you know? Like, this is May 10th. So I'm giving you an opportunity to prepare yourself. If you live a little bit farther away, at least this is a little bit ahead where you can prepare yourself. But obviously, I understand there could be some restrictions, so I get that. I like the non-wrestling part of wrestling. I'm intrigued by how Cena did a 15-minute villain monologue alone and the crowd just ate it up. The non-part of wrestling, which is this whole thing when you're talking about him cutting a promo. I don't mind calling a promo because that's just what he's doing. It is a promo. It is a promo to promote the match, the actions, so to speak. That is considered part of wrestling. It is considered one of the foundations of wrestling. Like literally every kind of wrestling does promos. The American, to the Japanese, to the British, even the Mexicans. In Lucha Libre, they also do like post-match interviews. They absolutely do it. We just don't hear it much because it's in a different language. So don't get it twisted. Like even in Japan, I like a great example I can give right now that actually was very touching. It's a death match actually. Now that you believe it or not, it's between Jun Kasai and El Desperado for I think this was a Jun Kasai anniversary match. It's a bloody affair, like proper death match because it's it's the deathmatch legend Jun Kasai, Crazy Monkey Jun Kasai versus El Desperado, who is already well established as like a really good, extremely good a junior heavyweight in New Japan. And they did this post-match. I can't recall who won. Essentially, it's basically El Desperado saying, "I leave it all on the line in this death match. I don't care if I die." And Jun Kasai had basically cut a promo, essentially, a reaction to what he said, that, "No, dude, treasure life, man. The match does not end until you get back home safe." It was obviously, I read the subtitles, and it was something like super, super meaningful. That even though, yes, he's a deathmatch wrestler through and through, but he's got kids. He has a son. He's got a life to go back to. He wants to come out of this alive. And it was something super meaningful. And you could see the crowd like really reacting. And Desperado was almost like in tears by it. So absolutely, even in Puroresu, they can cut some good ass promos. Very, very good. That's absolutely part of the game. Even in places that you don't think of it too, even on the indie level. God damn, I know I've cut some promos. I absolutely knew I've cut some promos before. So yeah. So what else was interesting? Oh, okay. I gotta mention this. Let me just jump away a little bit from WWE for a quick second and talk a little bit about TJPW, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. You guys might have heard of me talking about it before. Basically, Japan's second largest wrestling promotion, and by nature of that means it is one of the world's largest wrestling promotions. So it is very firmly number 2. Pretty darn big. And my goodness, I forgot the name of the event, but it's on the 5th May. It's on the 5th of May. Let's see, what's the name of it? Okay, so basically, 3 Southeast Asian female wrestlers will be wrestling in TJPW in the same event. Isn't that wild, folks? So they are Acha, representing Setup Pro Wrestling in Bangkok, Alexis Lee, the Lion City Hit Girl, representing Singapore Pro Wrestling, and Norfix Diana, representing APAC Wrestling. Three Southeast Asian women in a very, very well-established female wrestling promotion. Isn't that wild? Heck, I'll even link it too. I'll even link there's a tweet as well. Here you go. This is where you can find it. So I'm not just talking about my tight booty hole here. This is real. A Thai, a Singaporean, and a Malaysian going to TJPW. And in particular, Norfix Diana, she will be wrestling for the Setup All Asia Women's Championship match. I believe Setup this belt is a it's based in Thailand, if I'm not wrong. It's part of a Setup. The current champion is Raku. So this is a Japanese wrestler. So Norfix Diana will be wrestling against a Japanese wrestler for a Thai championship. Is that crazy? A Malaysian is challenging a Japanese female wrestler for a Thai belt. What a world we live in, eh? What a world we live in. I will give the link to this as well if you want to see it. And best of all, folks, you can catch it too. Because this is going to be streamed live on Wrestle Universe. You guys have heard me talk about Wrestle Universe before, right? So this is like the subscription website for many different Japanese wrestling wrestling promotions. DDT, TJPW, Noah, Marigold, Sendai Girls, Michinoku Pro of all things. So if you enjoy if you enjoy Japanese wrestling, this website is like a fantastic resource. And it's not too expensive either, actually. So if you want to check out Southeast Asian women's wrestling in a Japanese women promotion, this is it. Here's your chance, folks. Remember, it's 5th of May. It's the 5th of May. I don't know what time. Let's see. No, they haven't opened up their waiting room just yet, so to speak. No, I don't think so. But man, that's exciting. I'm very proud of the girls. Very proud of them. Macha, oh man, she is solid. She's one of those girls that will toss you around. She's got a mean German suplex. Like she is very much like a protege of the legendary Ms. Akura. And Alexis Lee, oh man, she's going all around everywhere. I think she's gonna wrestle in South Korea pretty soon. Actually, that's crazy. So she's got a mean streak. The Lion City Hit Girl has a mean streak. So look out for her. Just like giving no face to opponents. And Norfolk Diana, well, she can fly, she can suplex, she can do it all. And obviously she's like the absolute underdog that everyone underestimates. She's got a big bag of tricks up her sleeves, that's for sure. I would know. I wrestled her after all. That's my lame claim to fame. Lame claim to fame. Oh man, none of you know that Weird Al song. None of you know that Weird Al song. Please tell me you all know that Weird Al song. Do you guys know that Weird Al song? I know that Weird Al song. It's okay if none of you all do. Haha. Man, what a world we live in where we're sort of like slowly but surely bringing Southeast Asian talent, but places from very underrated environments, and bringing them into the limelight like this. Incredible. Oh, one of my, and then the last, I think this was SmackDown if I'm not wrong. Besides the whole Cena Rhodes thing, one of the stories that's also been super intriguing so far has been Jey Uso and Gunther, or Gunther as it were. That also has been really intriguing. The last episode actually has really started to heat things up actually, because it was Jimmy Uso, so Jay's brother, wanting a little payback against for Jay, so he's got a bit of a one-on-one against Gunther, and it started really hot too, because last week, like, I don't know what it was, how he did it, but Jimmy gave like the loudest ever slap to Gunther, loudest ever slap, like it rang throughout the whole stadium. Like it shocked people how hard he slapped him, to the point where like Gunther was like visibly stunned, had no retaliation against him, no retaliatory slap, no words for Jimmy, because he just walked away, because man, he B-word slapped the absolute poop out of Gunther. But this week, however, Gunther like savaged Jimmy, so put him away like in surefire fashion. Jimmy looked good too, mind you. Jimmy actually brought his A game. It's just Gunther was just too much. Gunther just chopped him, tossed him around, powerbomb. There you go. It was a competitive match, but man, Gunther kicked out. The fact that he kicked out of the Uso splash, that says a lot. But what happened after was almost more intriguing. Because Jimmy got savage. Jay tried to save his brother. And what does Gunther do? Well, first of all, Gunther initially, Jay saved his brother. Gunther ran away, and when he was about to carry his brother to the back, Gunther blindsided the both of them. And then he found zip ties, zip-tied Jay to the ring ropes, and then savaged Jimmy. Like, Jimmy was bloody too. I think it was because he smashed his head to the steps or something like that. And he just savaged him. And man, like, it was horrifying to see like Jay helpless, unable to save his brother. And then Gunther just smearing the blood all over him. Like, this was Gunther at his most, I'm sure, Gunther has bent the rules before. Gunther likes to pride himself as being like a restless wrestler, the ring general, you know? He has a sense of honor. This was probably the first time he's ever done something so underhanded, you know? This was the first time he zip-tied people. This was the first time he's being so he savaged someone in this way, being so sadistic. So this was in some ways a new side of Gunther that we've never seen before. And in some ways, we should have expected it. We didn't. Because Gunther did say he will make Jay's life a living nightmare if he didn't back off. So yeah. So that was really intriguing. So this is actually going to be something. It's almost like a clash of ideals in a way in this one, because Jay, you know, he got his whole yeet thing. He got the whole crowd doing it, man. He got the whole crowd doing it. The whole stadium loves to do it with him, and they love him for him. In some ways, it's gonna sound weird, but in some ways, Jey Uso has become like the new main event. Jey Uso has in some ways become the new Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, Stone Cold Steve Austin in his prime did fairly simple wrestling, very fundamental, very simple wrestling. But man, he had the crowd eating out of the palm of his hands. He would catch the 2 beer cans, smash him, and chug it down, whilst half of it dribbled down his chin, of course. A lot of people didn't realize that. And Jay did something a little more PG friendly. Stuck his 2 hands out and just yeeted, hands up and down, wave them in the air like you just don't care. And the crowd all followed suit with him. Like the entire stadium. It is truly incredible to see, actually. And meanwhile, Mr. Ring General Gunther is all about wrestling. It's all about the business. He will chop you. He will throw you. He will shotgun drop kick you. He doesn't like all this fancy, showboaty stuff. He's all about the wrestling. And so it's almost like 2 loggerheads here. So Jey Uso basically has to prove to everyone that he's not just a catchy chant. He's more than just a metaphorical 2 beer cans getting smashed. You know, he wants to prove it so that he can wrestle too, that he can win championships. I mean, I believe he won the Royal Rumble. He won the Royal Rumble over Cena. Did y'all remember that, by the way? Jey Uso and John Cena were the final two in the Royal Rumble. And Jey Uso won the Rumble. And he chose Gunther. Who better, right? That was super, super cool to see. In fact, in some ways, a lot of people started to doubt Jey a little bit because, yeah, he some of his moves in the past few weeks did not land right. Like he tried to do this top rope dive. Oh, he missed it. He missed it. Nearly smashed his face on the apron. Hell, he did a spear that looked more crossbody than spear. People did not like that. And I understand why. You're someone in the WWE and you're doing stuff that doesn't look clean. People have standards. But fair play to WWE, they played into that. You know, because that's what you have to do. You have to sort of like address it in a few ways. Like one of my favorite ones where they sort of had to like sort of fix a mistake, so to speak, was where there was this match that was supposed to be called this was in AEW. So yes, I still watch a bit of AEW. It was an exploding barbed wire match. And it looked like there was supposed to be like a full explosion in the entire ring. Like everyone was supposed to go kaboom. Eddie Kingston was supposed to cover Jon Moxley to protect him. And just when you think it was about to explode, instead of it being like a giant fireworks show, giant explosion, it was like a fizzle. Like it was barely a few sparks. It was embarrassing. There was no other way to put it. It was embarrassing how utterly amateurish it looked. But what did they do? Mox and Eddie Kingston cut a promo the next week that they basically tried to explain it. Essentially, Eddie Kingston basically said he thought there was going to be an explosion, and he panicked so much that he basically like fainted on top of Mox, and that's why he was down on the ground for so long. Because he was so freaked out that there was going to be an explosion. And then even Kenny Omega, this was his whole idea in the first place, even he said something like to the ends of, "Ha, we're not gonna waste expensive explosions on you guys. You guys got punked." Something like that. I know me saying it doesn't sound like they sort of fixed it, but they made the most out of a very bad situation, and it kind of worked. They made a ridiculous situation, and they just embraced the ridiculousness of it all. So it kind of worked in the context of it. Actually, it was a good job on their part. Actually, I respected it. That, you know, they sort of admitted that, oh, we fumbled. Sure, we gotta keep going. So we gotta think of something to get the flow going. You know, that sort of a thing. And that's what they did with Jey Uso's mistakes. They admitted it, and Jey reacted accordingly. And Gunther also preyed on those insecurities as a result. Would you say the crowd today is less forgiving than the days of Ultimate Warrior and Giant Gonzalez? Maybe. Arguably harder to please people these days, because guess what? People are more clued in. This is a show. Because back then, in like, especially in the very, very early years, so like I'm talking 70s and 60s and before that, that's when it was perceived as real, so to speak. If you're talking about in the days of Ultimate Warrior, first of all, I've never really watched the days of Ultimate Warrior. I would say, the crowd is more forgiving back then because they didn't know any better. They didn't know any secrets. they didn't really know what behind the behind the scenes stuff was. A lot of them were already clued in that, yeah, all this is a show. It's a great show nonetheless. And we're gonna enjoy ourselves. We pay for these tickets. We're damn straight we're gonna enjoy ourselves. There's actually this great video clip actually of I don't know the context of it. I don't know what channel it's from. Of this of a bunch of people being interviewed for a wrestling show, and people from like old to young, and I'm talking like kids, you know, they were saying, yeah, I know it's a show. I'm gonna enjoy myself. This is great. I'm excited. Some of them even rattled on about storylines and stuff. So they were like very appreciative, even back then. And so this was clearly something that was in the 90s. No, even the kids were like, "Oh, this is gonna be such fun. It's gonna be such fun." No, because yeah, don't underestimate your audience. You know, even if they're in the know, they're still appreciative of your product if your product's good, and if you know how to work your product. You know, there's the reason why us wrestlers are called workers. You know. Okay, I think that is about it from me, folks. Do you guys have any other thing you want to ask about all things wrestling? Is there anything you want to let me know? Or is there any is there any sort of wrestling stuff that you actually would like me to check out? Actually, I could I can if you guys want to watch recommend me stuff to check out, I might check it out, and in the next Real Wrestler Rapport, I might get to it. Actually. Anything of the sort? None for now, but do update about Senior soon. This is not going to become a Senior News Network channel. Please, I don't want to turn this into a Senior News Network channel. Okay? It's a guarantee I'll be talking about him again. Okay? WrestleMania is gonna rear its head. It's gonna rear its head. It's very, very large head very, very soon. So it's good. So it's a guarantee I'll be talking about Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, Respect. But I do like to talk about other things as well, okay? I'm an independent wrestler. I like to cover, some of the more underrated side of professional wrestling. Sorry, I have no idea what Fatal Fury City of Wolves is. Fatal Fury City of Wolves. I'm not very clued in with fighting games. There are some fighting games I know. The most obscure one I know of is... No, there's one that I will not mention just out of self-dignity. The one that I can mention is Skullgirls. That's probably the most obscure one I know. Oh, this is a new... Oh, City of Wolves is a new game. How can it be but it's not even released yet. How can it be the most broken character when the game isn't even released yet? What kind of logic is that? No pressure. I study Skullgirls animations. Oh, you do? Oh, it's a great one to have. Oh my god. The amount of... This is something I actually am aware about Skullgirls, actually. Skullgirls has some of the most frames. They have animated some of the most frames in any 2D game. If you look at the animation, it is so silky smooth because they drew so many frames for each character. It is insane. So yeah, it's a great reference, actually. My god, even if you're not a fan of fighting games, you should check it out. They love using smear frames. That's why they're smooth. Oh wow, look at you. You know your stuff. Oh, that is super cool. That is super cool to know. Yeah, I used to watch fighting games actually. I used to actually. I was terrible with fighting games. Actually, I barely even play fighting games. But man, watching fighting games is fun. It's a bit like. At one point, I watched more fighting games, like fighting game videos, fighting game matches, than wrestling. Actually, there was a point, because man, it's fun. You know, like I don't get it, like I don't play it. I barely understand it. It's such a hard thing to do. Like because a fighting game streamer, well, he's not a streamer. He's a streamer, but he plays fighting games quite a good bit. He compares even learning one character like learning a guitar. It is like learning an instrument. Every character is an instrument. I'm the button masher type in fighting games. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Yeah. Although funny enough, for some reason, I guess I suspect it's because it's a bit more button mashy. Malaysia's fighting game of choice is the Tekken series. Wow, right? Wow. A lot of places it's Street Fighter, or Mortal Kombat. No, in Malaysia it is specifically Tekken. We have our own community for it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh man, I used to watch so much of it, and it's good fun. Good fun indeed. It feels like almost like an era, a bygone era, so to speak. Even though these days fighting games is still a big, like it's still a massive genre, you know. I was surprised the esports competition was playing Tekken. Is it like a local esports? Is it local esports? Because yeah, everywhere, every major fighting game tournament, there will be Tekken. It's one of the big games, right up there with Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom. I think. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Although I'll tell you what. The one fighting game character archetype that I absolutely cannot get into. I guess the slight exception is Tekken. That's because they sort of control things in a different way. And that's grappler characters. I've tried to play like Blaze Blue before. I've tried. Oh my god, how do you do 360 inputs? Like on the joystick, you have to literally just do a special command grab. You have to like turn the joystick 180, 360, 720. How? It is impossible. I'm a grappler. I do submission moves left and right. I know more submission moves than any normal person will know in their entire normal person needs to know in their entire lifetime. And I cannot do a 180. I have to like look at the controller and then try my best to like 180 it. It is impossible. 360 is one, like 720. How do you do a 720? I have to like spin the joystick slowly just to do a 720. How do people do it so bloody quickly? How? Blame Zangief for those 360s, 720s. Yeah, he's one of them. He is one of them. But there's so many more as well. Like I used to play Blaze Blue, and yeah, there was some characters that you had to do 720s as well. There's this one dude. I forgot that he's the big red Oni looking dude. Oh my god, just utterly impossible. Utterly impossible, man. Terrifying. Who did I used to play? In Blaze Blue, oh man, I haven't played Blaze Blue in so long. Tekken, Yoshimitsu. I wasn't really much of a king player, believe it or not. Wasn't really much of a king player. Although I do appreciate that you could do all sorts of fancy stuff, that's for sure. All right, I think that's about it, folks. That's about it. Let me just check very quickly. Okay, our next stream will be on Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Let's hope that the internet is pretty stable by then. It should be fine. It should be fine. And we'll be continuing on, or rather finalizing, I Love You, Colonel Sanders. We're going to get that done. We're going to get that done. And see whether we truly will love Colonel Sanders. Man. Can't believe I finally did a stream after so long. Really appreciate you guys. Really, really do. Yeah. I'm still here, folks. I'm still here. If you haven't yet, folks, please do like and subscribe to my channel. I have got social media. I've got social medias on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and even Blue Sky as well. I also regularly post on Blue Sky as well. Yeah, I need to start shaping up I need to start shaping up my streaming stuff. I've got stuff already in the back pocket. I just have to put in the work. I just have to put in the work, folks. All right, folks. Cafe Cornelius is now closing shop. Big Cafe Cornelius never closing your hearts. Have a lovely night, Mina. Have a lovely night.